DD5. Imagine waking up tomorrow and feeling completely peaceful inside, no matter what challenges come your way. Imagine a life where anger, fear, and stress lose their power over you. Imagine if the key to this life was already within you, waiting to be discovered. What if just a few simple lessons could change the way you see yourself and the world forever? What if these lessons could help you live happier, more freely, and with deeper meaning? Have you ever felt trapped by your own thoughts or emotions? Do you sometimes wonder why life feels so difficult, even when everything seems fine on the outside? What if the answers you seek are not somewhere far away, but right here, in the way you think and act every day? Many people ask themselves, how can I find true happiness? Or, why do I keep feeling restless inside? These questions are the beginning of a journey that Buddha walked over 2,500 years ago. Think about a simple example. Imagine holding a hot coal in your hand, hoping to throw it at someone else to hurt them, but in the process, you burn yourself. This is how anger works. It harms the person who holds on to it most. This small story holds a great truth taught by the Buddha about letting go and finding peace. Welcome to Wisdom Writings, your space for learning and growing through the timeless wisdom of the Buddha. In this video, we will explore 5 powerful lessons from Buddhism that can truly change your life. Stay with us, because these lessons are not just ideas, but practical ways to live better every day. Before we begin, I want to warmly invite you. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring more meaningful content to you and others seeking peace. Please drop down your thoughts in the comments below and share your journey with us. To keep your spirit positive throughout this video, simply comment Namo Buddhari and feel the energy of peace spreading within you. Now, let's start by understanding how these ancient teachings can touch your daily life step by step. To truly live, one must first learn to be fully present. This is the beginning, the root of all peace. Many wander through their days lost in thought, their minds scattered like leaves in the wind. They carry the past's burdens and worry about the future's unknowns, but the present moment, the only moment that truly exists, slips quietly away. Imagine the mind like a wild horse, running without control. It races through memories, fears, desires, and endless chatter. But if you gently hold the reins, you begin to guide it. This is mindfulness, being aware of what is happening right now, without judgment or distraction. When you wake in the morning, feel the breath as it enters and leaves your body. Notice the sensations in your feet touching the ground. Hear the sound around you. These small moments, often ignored, are treasures. To be fully here is to awaken from a deep sleep. Life does not happen in the past or future. It unfolds only in the now. Mindfulness is not complicated. It is simple noticing. When you wash your hands, feel the water's coolness. When you eat, taste each bite as if it is the first and last. When you walk, feel each step as it touches the earth. This deep attention brings a calm clarity. The mind becomes like still water, reflecting life as it truly is. Yet, this presence is not about forcing or trying hard. It is gentle, like watching clouds drift by without grabbing them. When thoughts come, see them as passing visitors. Do not hold on, do not push away. Just observe. Over time, the mind grows quiet and peaceful. People often think mindfulness is only meditation, but it is much more. It is how you live each moment. You can be mindful while talking, working, resting. Each moment is an opportunity to be fully awake. When you become aware of your breath, your body, your surroundings, you step out of suffering caused by distraction and confusion. In this mindful state, anger loses its grip. Anxiety fades. The mind sees clearly, without being clouded by past regrets or future worries. This clarity allows wisdom to arise naturally. You begin to understand your own heart and the hearts of others more deeply. Living mindfully is also the doorway to kindness. When you are present, you hear the needs of others. You see the suffering hidden behind their words and actions. Compassion grows when the mind is open and aware, not trapped by judgment or hate. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is the foundation of the path. Without it, we stumble in darkness. With it, the path becomes clear step by step. Each breath, each moment of awareness is a brick building your bridge to freedom. Yet, the world moves fast and often pulls us away from presence. Notifications buzz, tasks pile up, worries multiply. It is easy to forget to come home to the now. But even if you can bring your attention for a few seconds, that is enough to begin. Slowly, these moments grow longer. Your mind learns to rest more deeply. Do not be discouraged if your mind wanders. This is natural, like training a wild horse. It takes patience and gentle persistence. When you notice distraction, simply bring your focus back. This act of returning is itself a practice of mindfulness. You may wonder, how can I live mindfully when life is full of challenges? The answer is, mindfulness does not remove problems. It changes how you relate to them. Instead of being overwhelmed or lost in reaction, you meet life with calmness and clarity. This creates space for wise choices and peace. Think of a storm at sea. Without mindfulness, the storm tosses the ship wildly. With mindfulness, the captain holds steady, guiding the ship through waves. The storm may rage, but the ship does not sink. In daily life, practice is everywhere. When you feel upset, breathe and notice the feeling. When you face a difficult person, pause and observe your own thoughts and emotions. This pause creates freedom. You are no longer a prisoner to impulses. Mindfulness also helps you discover joy in simple things. The warmth of sunlight, the sound of birds, the smile of a stranger. These small gifts appear clearly when the mind is present. Gratitude grows naturally. As a Zen Master might say, when walking, walk. When eating, eat. This means fully engaging with whatever you are doing. The mind scattered on many things is a restless mind. The mind here, fully here, is calm and alive. Many have experienced the power of mindfulness through meditation. Sitting quietly, watching the breath, brings a deep inner stillness. But mindfulness is not limited to the cushion. It is a way of life. Every moment holds the possibility to awaken. The Buddhist teaching is simple yet profound. It is not about complexity or rituals. It is about being aware, awake, and open. In this awareness, life shines brightly and clearly. To live mindfully is to live with respect for yourself and others. It is to treat each moment as precious and sacred. It is to listen deeply to the world, to others, and to your own heart. This lesson on mindful presence is the doorway. It opens to all the other teachings. Without presence, understanding fades. With presence, insight grows. Practice this every day. Start with small steps. Take a breath. Notice your surroundings. Be here now. The more you do this, the more your life will change. The quiet mind is a clear mirror. It reflects life as it is, without distortion. In this reflection, you see yourself and the world with kindness and wisdom. This is the first lesson from the Buddha that can change your life. Be fully here, fully awake, fully alive. You see, life is not always easy. This is something the Buddha understood deeply, and he taught that suffering is a part of our human experience. But what is suffering really? It is not just pain or sadness. Suffering is also the feeling of dissatisfaction that clings to us, even when things seem fine on the surface. It is the restless heart that wants more or something different and is never quite at peace. Imagine for a moment the waves of the ocean. Sometimes the sea is calm, gentle, and soothing. Other times, waves rise and crash fiercely against the shore. Our minds are much like this ocean, sometimes calm, sometimes troubled. The Buddha said suffering comes from craving and attachment, holding tightly to things we like, or pushing away things we dislike. This clinging causes pain, just like holding a dry branch too tightly will eventually hurt your hand. Many people try to avoid suffering by seeking comfort in things outside themselves. They look for happiness in money, relationships, success, or possessions. Yet, these things change, and when they do, the happiness they gave also disappears. Like a beautiful flower that blooms and then withers, everything we cling to is temporary. When we understand this, we can begin to loosen our grip. Letting go is not easy. The mind resists, wanting to keep what feels good and push away what feels bad. But the Buddha showed that freedom comes when we stop fighting the way things are. He taught that suffering ends not when the world changes, but when we change how we relate to the world. When we stop grasping and start accepting, peace begins to grow inside us. Let's think about anger, for example. When someone hurts us, our natural response is to hold on to that pain, to replay it in our minds, and keep feeling upset. But holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. The pain stays with us long after the moment has passed. If we can learn to see anger clearly, as a feeling that arises and then passes away, we can begin to let it go. The Buddha taught that everything is connected and always changing. Nothing stays the same, not even our feelings or thoughts. When we understand this deeply, we see that suffering is not a permanent state. It is a wave that rises and falls. We cannot stop the wave from coming, but we can learn to surf it with grace. This lesson invites us to be patient with ourselves and with life. We do not need to rush to fix or escape suffering. Instead, we can watch it closely like a curious observer. What does it feel like in the body? What stories do we tell ourselves about it? By simply noticing without judgment, the power of suffering slowly fades. In daily life, this practice means when sadness or fear arises, we do not push it away or get lost in it. We breathe with it, allow it space, and remind ourselves that it is not who we truly are, it is just a passing experience. This awareness brings clarity and a quiet strength that can never be taken away. The Buddha also taught that compassion is a key to healing suffering. When we feel pain, we often close ourselves off, afraid to be vulnerable. But by opening our hearts, first to ourselves and then to others, we break the cycle of isolation that suffering creates. Compassion connects us, reminding us that no one suffers alone. Think about a time when you were kind to someone who was hurting. Maybe you listened quietly or offered a comforting word. That small act changes not only the other person, but also your own heart. It softens the grip of pain and fear, allowing light to enter the darkness. Suffering can teach us many things if we allow it. It can show us where we need to grow, where we hold fear or anger, and where we need to practice forgiveness. The Buddha's lesson is not to avoid suffering, but to transform it by changing how we respond. When we let go of blame, of why me, and of the stories that keep us stuck, we open the door to healing. We begin to see that life's difficulties are part of the path, like stones on a road that teach us to walk more carefully and mindfully. This is why the Buddha never promised a life without hardship. Instead, he showed a way to live through hardship with wisdom and peace. The 5 precepts he gave were not rules to punish, but guidelines to help us reduce harm and suffering in ourselves and others. By practicing this lesson, we become like a clear mirror, reflecting life as it is, without distortion. We see joy and pain, loss and gain, not as enemies or friends, but simply as parts of the whole picture. You might wonder, how can I start to let go? The answer lies in small steps. Begin by observing your thoughts and feelings with kindness. When you notice yourself holding on to anger or worry, gently remind yourself to breathe and relax. Practice forgiving yourself for mistakes, knowing that you are learning. Over time, this practice changes your relationship with suffering. It becomes less like a heavy burden and more like a visitor who comes and goes. You no longer fight with it, and in that surrender, you find freedom. Remember, letting go is not forgetting or giving up. It is choosing peace over pain, understanding over resistance. It is living in harmony with the truth that all things change. This lesson touches the heart of Buddhist wisdom, that suffering is universal, but so is the potential for awakening. Every moment offers a chance to wake up from the dream of pain and grasping. and to step into a life of clarity and love. The path is not always easy, but it is always worth it. In this way, suffering is not the enemy, but a wise teacher guiding us back to ourselves. When we walk this path, we do not walk alone. The Buddhist teachings, the Sangha, the community of practitioners, and our own inner strength support us every step. So, as you move through life's challenges, remember this. To suffer is to be human, but to suffer without awakening is to remain asleep. The choice to awaken is yours. It begins with a simple breath, a kind thought, and the willingness to let go. Listen closely, for the truth I share is simple but profound. Everything in this world is always changing. Nothing stays the same, not even for a moment. This is the nature of life. The Buddha taught us to see clearly how all things arise and pass away. When we truly understand this, fear and attachment begin to loosen their grip on our hearts. Imagine a river flowing endlessly. The water you touch now is not the same water that was there a second ago. It moves, shifts, and transforms constantly. Our lives are like that river. We are always moving, changing in every breath we take. Yet, most people try to hold on tightly, holding on to people, possessions, feelings, and even identities that will never remain. This holding on brings suffering. You might ask, if everything changes, what can I rely on? What can bring me peace? This is a question the Buddha faced too. He looked deeply and realized that when we accept impermanence, we free ourselves from the pain of clinging. It is not easy. Our minds want stability. Our hearts want safety. But reality is fluid, always flowing. When you see the leaves fall in autumn or watch a flower bloom and then fade, do you feel sadness? Or do you see the beauty in the change itself? The lesson is to learn to embrace the flow of life, like the river that does not resist the rocks or the wind. When you stop fighting change, you begin to live in harmony with it. Attachment is the root of suffering because it is based on wanting things to stay forever, which is impossible. Imagine trying to hold water in your hands. No matter how tightly you squeeze, it slips away. Life is the same. Trying to grasp onto what will fade only causes pain. Freedom comes when we stop clinging and start accepting. This does not mean giving up or being careless. It means understanding deeply that change is the only true constant. When you know this, you can appreciate each moment for what it is without fear of losing it. Sometimes people say, if everything changes, why bother? This is a misunderstanding. Knowing impermanence makes life more precious. Each moment shines brighter because it will never come again. This awareness invites us to be fully present, to live with gratitude and kindness. Think about your own life. How often have you worried about losing something? A friend, a job, or your youth? These worries come from not accepting change. But what if you could look at these moments and say, I am grateful for what I have right now? That gratitude opens the door to peace. In the same way, your thoughts and feelings are not fixed. They come and go like waves in the ocean. When you feel sadness, anger, or fear, know that these emotions are temporary. They will rise and fall. Holding on to them tightly only causes suffering. The Buddha showed us a path to walk lightly in this world. When you accept impermanence, you begin to see life with fresh eyes. You learn to let go of the heavy burdens you carry and find joy in simplicity. Letting go is not weakness. It is strength. It is the courage to face reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. When you practice this, your heart opens like a flower reaching for the sun. You may wonder how to begin this practice. Start by noticing change in small things. The way the sky shifts color, the way your body feels, the way your mind moves from thought to thought. Each time you see change, remind yourself gently, this is impermanent. I do not need to hold on. This simple awareness grows with time. Like planting a seed, it takes patience. But as the seed grows, it brings freedom and peace. Remember, life is like a dance of moments, always moving, never still. Trying to freeze a moment is like trying to catch the wind. Instead, learn to dance with it. When you embrace impermanence, you also open yourself to new possibilities. You become ready to welcome change, not fear it. You become flexible and strong like bamboo, bending with the storm but never breaking. In this way, freedom is not about controlling life, but about flowing with it. When you stop resisting, you discover a deep peace that no storm can disturb. This lesson from the Buddha is a gift for your heart. It teaches you to live fully and freely. It shows you how to find joy in every breath, no matter what life brings. So, whenever you feel afraid of losing something or someone, take a moment to breathe. Feel the life inside you and remind yourself, this too will change. And that is okay. In this acceptance lies true happiness. It is not something outside to find, but a treasure inside to uncover. The river never stops flowing, and neither does life. When you stop fighting, you find peace. When you accept the dance of change, you become free. Let this wisdom settle quietly within you. Let soften the edges of your worries and fears. Let open your heart to the beauty of each moment as it passes by. This is the path of freedom the Buddha showed us. A path of gentle acceptance, deep peace, and endless possibility. Walk this path slowly. Walk it with kindness toward yourself. Remember that every step forward is a step toward liberation. In the end, life is not about holding on, but about letting go. And in letting go, you find yourself. In this moment, everything is changing. The trees outside your window sway and fall. The seasons come and go. Even your own body, your thoughts, your feelings, they never stay the same. This truth, the truth of impermanence, is the heart of life itself. To live fully, to live freely, one must learn to embrace this constant change, not fight it. Many people fear change. They want to hold on tightly to what feels safe and familiar. They try to freeze time in a memory, a feeling, or a person. But just like water flows and cannot be held in one place, life moves on. When we cling to things that pass away, we suffer. We feel loss, sadness, and frustration. But what if the secret is to stop clinging? What if freedom comes when we open our hands and hearts to the flow of life? A Zen Master once said, when the wind blows, the bamboo bends. The bamboo does not resist, it does not break. It moves gracefully with the wind. Like the bamboo, when we learn to move with life's changes, we find strength instead of weakness. We find peace instead of struggle. This is the way of embracing impermanence. Look closely at your own life. Think about the times you held on tightly to a person, a job, or an idea. How did it feel when things changed? Maybe you felt anger, fear, or sadness. These feelings come because you believe the moment could last forever. But it cannot. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing is permanent. This is not a sad truth. It is a freeing one. When you accept that everything changes, you begin to see that suffering does not come from the world around you, but from your resistance to change. Your mind creates pain by trying to stop the river that flows naturally. But if you allow the river to flow, if you let go, the pain softens and disappears. This is the path to true freedom. Many seek control in life. They plan, worry, and hold on to what they think will bring happiness. But control is an illusion. You cannot control time, other people, or even your own feelings fully. The moment you accept this, you stop struggling. You stop wasting energy fighting what is. Instead, you find clarity and calm. To practice embracing impermanence is to live fully in the present moment. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but now. When you truly live in the now, you see things as they are. You appreciate the beauty of the flower before it wilts, the laughter of a friend before the day ends. You do not fear loss because you understand that loss is part of life, just like birth and growth. There's a story in Zen about a student who asked the master, "How do I stop being afraid of death?" The master smiled and said, "Do you feel afraid of the moment now? The breath you take, the step you make? Death is no different than life. Both are part of the same dance. To fear death is to fear the dance of life itself." In this teaching lies a deep freedom. When you no longer fear the end, You can fully embrace the beginning and the middle. You live with gratitude, without clinging or craving. You move through life with softness and strength combined. It is important to remember that impermanence is not just about big changes, like losing a job or a loved one. It is in every small breath, in every heartbeat. Each moment is unique and will never come again. This is why mindfulness is so powerful. When you are mindful, you watch the world change around you and within you without judgment or fear. You simply observe and let go. By embracing impermanence, you also open yourself to growth and transformation. Like a seed that must die in the soil before a plant can grow, you must let go of old parts of yourself to become new. This can be uncomfortable, even painful at times. But it is also the way you become freer, wiser, and more compassionate. You may wonder, how do I practice this every day? Start small. Notice your breath. Notice the rising and falling of your chest. Notice your thoughts coming and going like clouds in the sky. When you feel upset or stuck, remind yourself gently, this feeling will pass. This simple truth softens the mind. When things change, your plans, your feelings, your relationships, try to welcome the change like an old friend. Say to yourself, this moment is here to teach me something. In this way, impermanence becomes a guide, not an enemy. There is no need to rush or force yourself. Like the bamboo that bends naturally, your acceptance will grow slowly, softly, with practice. Each time you let go a little more, you free yourself a little more. You discover a peace that is not tied to anything outside, but flows from within. This peace is the true freedom the Buddha spoke of. Freedom not from a world, but freedom in the world. A freedom that shines even in the midst of loss, pain, and change. It is a freedom that comes when you stop fighting the river and begin to flow with it. Remember, life will bring joys and sorrows, beginnings and endings. This is the way it is. The sky does not hold on to clouds. The river does not hold on to water. Neither can you hold on to any moment forever. The practice is to open your heart wide enough to hold it all, the light and the shadow. When you do this, life becomes a beautiful unfolding mystery, not a problem to solve or a mountain to climb. You live in harmony with the natural flow, and in that harmony, you find yourself. This is the teaching of impermanence, simple, yet profound. It invites you to live with grace and ease, to meet each moment as it comes, and to find freedom in the letting go. So now breathe deeply. Feel the breath moving in and out. Feel the life moving through you. Know that in this very moment, change is happening. And in that change, there is endless possibility. The path of embracing impermanence is the path of awakening. It is the path of the wise and the free. Walk it gently, walk it fully, and you will discover the peace that no one can take away. The path of the Buddha is not complicated. It is found in the small things we think, say, and do each moment. When you understand how your mind works, how your words touch others, and how your actions shape your life, you step closer to true freedom. Imagine your mind is like a garden. If you plant seeds of kindness, calmness, and truth, your garden will bloom with peace and joy. But if you plant seeds of anger, hatred, or jealousy, your garden will be full of weeds and darkness. This is the simple truth of right thought. Right thought means you pay attention to what fills your mind. It means choosing to think kindly about yourself and others. It means letting go of harmful ideas that bring pain. When you practice right thought, your mind becomes a friend, not an enemy. Many people do not realize how powerful their thoughts are. A single angry thought can grow into words that hurt, actions that cause harm, and regrets that last long after the moment passes. But a gentle thought can bring healing, joy, and peace. The Buddha teaches us to be aware of our thoughts like a gardener watches the seeds, pulling out the weeds before they grow. Right speech is the next step on the path. What you say has power. Words can build bridges or walls, give hope or cause despair. Speaking truthfully and kindly is like lighting a candle in the darkness. It shows the way not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. Sometimes, it is easy to forget how much impact our words have. A careless word can wound deeply. A harsh word can shatter trust. But a word spoken with care, with love and understanding, can mend even the deepest pain. The Buddha reminds us to speak only what is true, helpful, and kind. When you practice right speech, you also practice silence when words may do harm. Not every thought needs to be spoken. Sometimes, the greatest kindness is found in quiet, listening, or in holding your tongue when anger rises. Right action flows naturally from right thought and right speech. It is the way we live moment to moment, the choices we make and how we treat ourselves, others, and the world. Actions rooted in kindness, honesty, and respect bring harmony. Every day, you have many chances to practice right action. When you help someone in need, you plant a seed of compassion. When you tell the truth, even when it is hard, you walk the path of courage. When you avoid harm, whether to others or to yourself, you protect the precious gift of life. Right action is not about being perfect. It is about doing your best with the awareness you have. Sometimes mistakes happen. The Buddha teaches that we must forgive ourselves and learn. Growth comes through patience and gentle effort. This teaching of right thought, right speech, and right action is like a three-legged stool. Each leg supports the others. If your thoughts are kind, your words will naturally be gentle. If your words are true, your actions will follow with integrity. Together, they keep you balanced and steady on your journey. Many people live unaware of how their inner world shapes their outer life. They wonder why suffering returns, why relationships break, why happiness feels so fleeting. The answer is in these simple teachings. When your thoughts are pure, your speech honest, and your actions kind, you build a strong foundation for peace. Think of a river flowing clear and calm. This is the mind that practices right thought. The words spoken on its banks are soft and healing. The actions taken along its path nourish life without harm. This is the way of the Buddha, flowing with wisdom and compassion. It is easy to feel small or powerless in a world full of noise and chaos. But remember, every great change begins inside. When you change your thoughts, your words, and your actions, you become a light that others can see and follow. Sometimes, right speech means standing up for what is right, even when it is difficult. Sometimes, right action means choosing patience over anger, forgiveness over revenge. These choices are the true power in the Buddhist teaching. The Zen Master does not ask for blind faith. He asks for practice, for observation, for awakening to your own experience. Watch your thoughts without judgment. Listen to your words with care. Notice your actions with honesty. This is how you learn the path. As you walk this path, you will notice a deep calm growing inside. The storms of worry and anger will begin to fade. Your relationships will deepen because others feel your kindness and truth. Your own heart will open to joy not dependent on conditions outside. Remember, this is not a race or a competition. It is a gentle journey, one step at a time. The Buddha's path is patient. It welcomes all who seek peace, no matter how far they have wandered. Right thought is not about forcing your mind to be empty or perfect. It is about choosing the best thoughts you can again and again. When a harmful thought arises, notice it, and gently bring your mind back to kindness. Right speech is not about always talking or preaching. Sometimes, it is the quiet honesty of listening deeply and speaking only when it serves peace. Silence can be a powerful teacher. Right action is not about grand gestures or heroic deeds. It is in the small moments, offering a smile, helping a stranger, forgiving a mistake. These small actions create the fabric of a peaceful life. The Buddha's teaching reminds us that freedom is possible now, not someday, not after we have done everything perfectly, but here and now. When your mind is free of harmful thoughts, your words heal, and your actions bring life, you experience true freedom. Take a moment now to breathe deeply. Feel your breath, steady and calm. Know that in this moment, you can choose right thought, right speech, and right action. This is the path to peace. No matter what has happened in the past, you have the power to change. The Buddhist teachings are like a gentle guide, helping you find your way back to yourself. Every thought, every word, every action is a chance to practice and grow. When your heart fills with kindness, when your words are true and gentle, when your actions honor life, you create a world of peace around you. This is the gift of the Buddha, simple, profound, and always available. Walk this path with patience and love. Let your thoughts be your friends. Let your speech be your blessing. Let your actions be your peace. In this way, you live the Buddha's teaching moment by moment. The journey is yours, but you do not walk alone. The wisdom of the Buddha is with you, guiding your steps with light and compassion. Trust the path. Trust yourself. The peace you seek is already inside. To truly live with the wisdom of the Buddha, one must not only understand the lessons, but also bring them gently, quietly, and steadily into everyday moments. Life is not separated from practice. It is the practice itself. Imagine your day like a river flowing, each moment a drop of water. When you carry the teachings into these drops, your river flows with calm and clarity. The first step is to become aware, deeply aware of your own mind. This means watching your thoughts and feelings without judgment. When anger arises, do not push it away or hold on to it. See it clearly, like watching clouds pass in the sky. You will notice that anger changes, that it does not stay forever. This awareness creates space inside you, and from that space, you begin to choose how to respond. You may find that your mind wanders often, pulled by worries about the future or regrets from the past. This is natural, but each time you bring your attention back to the present, you strengthen a muscle inside, your mindfulness. This muscle helps you stay steady when storms come. Practicing mindfulness in simple ways, like feeling your breath, listening carefully to sounds, or noticing how your body feels, builds a calm foundation. The lesson of letting go is practiced every time you allow yourself to release pain or fear. Life asks you to hold less tightly and trust more. When you grip tightly to anger or sadness, you carry a heavy load. But when you let go, even just a little, you feel lighter. You can do this by recognizing that nothing stays the same, that all feelings and situations change, just like the seasons. This does not mean you ignore problems, but that you meet them with softness instead of resistance. Compassion grows naturally when you begin to see the world as connected. When you understand your own suffering, it becomes easier to understand the suffering of others. Compassion is not something distant or hard. It lives in small acts, a kind word, a smile, patience when someone makes a mistake. These acts may seem small, but they ripple outward, touching lives in ways you may never see. As you practice right thought, speech, and action, you begin to live in harmony with yourself and others. Right thought means choosing kindness, honesty, and peace inside your mind. Right speech means speaking with care, avoiding harsh words, lies, or gossip. Right action means doing what does not harm yourself or others, acting with respect and love. Every day, you are offered countless chances to practice. The person who cuts you off in traffic, the friend who disappoints you, the moment when you feel tired or discouraged. These are all invitations to bring the Buddha's teachings into your life. Instead of reacting with old habits, you can pause, breathe, and choose a new way. It is in these small choices that transformation happens. Do not wait for a special moment or perfect conditions. The true practice is here now. When you wash the dishes, be present with the water and soap. When you walk, feel your feet touching the ground. When you speak to others, listen with your full attention. This simple presence changes how you see everything. Life becomes fuller, deeper, and more beautiful. Sometimes you may stumble or forget these lessons. This is part of being human. When that happens, do not be harsh with yourself. Gently return to your breath, your awareness, and your intention to live kindly. Like the sun breaking through clouds after rain, your clarity will return. In time, you may notice a quiet peace growing inside, a peace that does not depend on outside things. This peace is the fruit of your practice. It does not mean life becomes perfect or free from difficulties, but that you meet whatever comes with grace and strength. Remember, the Buddha did not promise a life without challenges. He showed a path to freedom by understanding and loving what is, rather than fighting against it. By weaving these lessons into the fabric of your daily life, you begin to live with that freedom. Each moment is a new beginning. Each breath is a chance to return to your true nature. Let these lessons not just be ideas, but living parts of your being. With patience and kindness toward yourself, you will grow more peaceful and wise every day. The journey is not about becoming someone new, but remembering who you truly are beneath all the noise and worry. You're already whole, already enough. The teachings are a mirror showing you this truth. So, as you walk your path, carry these lessons quietly in your heart. Let them guide your thoughts, soften your speech, and inspire your actions. In this way, you do not only change your life, you change the world around you by being a light of peace. This integration of the Buddha's wisdom is a lifelong journey, simple yet profound. Practice gently, with love, and the path will open before you like a blooming flower. Now, my dear friend, we come to the end of this path we have walked together. But remember, this ending is only a new beginning. The teachings you have heard, the lessons of presence, compassion, letting go, understanding suffering, and choosing right actions, are not just words. They are the very steps you can take each day to live a life full of peace and wisdom. Life is like a river flowing endlessly. Sometimes the water is calm, sometimes it rushes fiercely. You cannot stop the flow, but you can learn to move with it. You're not the river, but the one who watches it flow. This is the freedom the Buddha showed us. The freedom to see things as they truly are without getting caught up in fear, anger, or sadness. Remember the first lesson we spoke of, being present. How often do we live in the past or worry about the future? The present moment is the only place where life is truly alive. When you breathe deeply and notice what is happening now, you find a space of calm inside. This moment is your home. Return to it again and again. Then came the lesson of suffering, how it touches every life. But suffering is not punishment. It is a teacher. When you face pain or difficulty, you have a choice. You can resist it and suffer more, or you can accept it with kindness, learning from it as a wise friend. This is not easy, but it is the way to peace. The lesson of compassion invites you to open your heart to yourself and to others. When you act from love and care, your life fills with meaning. Compassion is not weakness. It is the greatest strength. It connects us, heals us, and reminds us that no one is alone in this world. Embracing impermanence means understanding that nothing lasts forever. Not pain, not joy, not even life itself. This truth can free you from fear. If all things change, then moments of happiness will come again, and moments of sadness will pass too. Life is a dance of change, and by accepting it, you find freedom. Finally, the power of right thought, speech, and action shapes your life. Your mind and your words create the world you live in. Choose them with care. Speak kindly, think clearly, and act with honesty. These small things ripple out, creating peace in your heart and in the world. Now, as you carry these lessons forward, remember, you do not have to be perfect. The path is not about reaching a place of no mistakes. It is about walking gently, learning with each step, and returning to your true nature, the nature of peace, kindness, and wisdom. Every morning when you wake, take a moment to breathe and set your intention. Let it be a simple wish to be kind to yourself and to others. When challenges come, remember that they are part of the great story of life. Meet them with courage and compassion. Know this, you are never alone. The Buddha's teachings are like a light in the darkness, guiding you. And the community of those who walk this path supports you, even when you feel lost. Reach out when you need help. Share your heart. If your mind becomes heavy with worry or anger, come back to your breath. Let it remind you of your strength and calm. If your heart feels closed, practice kindness in a small way. Smile at someone, help a friend, or simply say a gentle word. Your life is a precious gift. Each moment is an opportunity to grow, to heal, and to love. The lessons of the Buddha are not distant or difficult. They're simple truths waiting for you to live them. As you move forward, carry these words with you. Peace is possible. Happiness is within reach, and every step you take could be a step toward freedom. Thank you for walking this path with me today. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Writings. Your presence here helps bring more light to this world. Please, drop your thoughts in the comments. To keep your spirit bright and positive, write Namo Buddhai and feel the calm grow inside you. May your days be filled with peace. May your heart be full of kindness. And may your life be a beautiful journey of awakening. Namo Buddhai.